We want to tear the walls down of division in the country and the walls that have built themselves up to oppose a man that God has called to bring us to a new place. We are on a journey together.
Remember when they had the tsunami in Japan? They had the earthquake and the tsunami? I said, if I be a man of God, the prophet of God, I command now that that tsunami stop. And the water stopped, and they went the other way. I was right about the tsunami, and I was right about Trump. To God be the glory.
I am so moved by our president asking for prayer. Laura and I have been to the White House. We've been on the phone with the White House. We're on the president's mailing list.
There's probably 100 hitmen been hired to kill Trump,
right,
or more.
Right. Of course.
I know this in the spirit. It said they asked God, why haven't we had a cure for cancer?
Right.
And he said back, I gave you 2 scientists that had the cure, and both of them were aborted.
A group of believers and leaders that are part of the council, Faith Advisory Council, met with the president. Is that the president of the United States is listening to leaders that have their finger on the pulse of the body of Christ.
I'm not saying that Putin's a good guy. He's like a mafia chief over there. I mean, Russia's the Wild West still. But I will say that he is not nearly, as a Christian, you probably, if you're faithful to Russia and you're not a danger to his government, you're probably not going to find him an adversary in your own nation. I fear more liberals in America than I fear Putin in Russia.
I stirred up from reporters and everything else when I started calling our news media the biggest terrorist organization in the world. They're inciting fear and terror.
It was told to us by Vice President Pence, who walked in and said the president wants to see you in the Oval Office. So all of us, there were 27 in total, walked down into the Oval Office.
I actually brought a gift for you today. So I collect 45s. So I was given this 45, specially made. This is from the United States Submarine Force. Amazing. Look at the document cam showing on this. A preacher's giving Alex Jones a 45.
I'm blessed by nationality. I'm a member of a growing populace. We enforce our popularity. There are things that seem to pull us under, and there are things that drag us down. But there's a power and a vital presence that's lurking all around. We got the American Jesus, see him on the interstate. We've got the American Jesus, he outbuilt the president's estate.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from here. I don't think so. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't.
I feel sorry for the Earth's population. Some you live in the USA.
We've got a border. The southern border is like a piece of Swiss cheese, and we'll talk about it. We will build the wall. Yes. We will build the wall.
We got a place to go where we die, and the architect resides right here.
Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall.
Jesus, overwhelming millions every day. Farmer during fields, the punch the army wheels, expressions on the faces of the starting millions, the power of the man, the fuel that drives the clan, he's the motive and the conscience of the murderer, he's a preacher on TV, the false sincerity, the formula that's written by the big computers and nuclear bombs, the kids with no moms, and a pitbull that he's inside me, yeah, we've got the American Jesus, see him on the interstate. We've got the American Jesus. Jesus, exercising his authority. We've got the American Jesus, bolstering national faith. We've got the American Jesus, overwhelming millions every day. Yeah.
We evolved from a primary thalamus-driven brain. We began as a fight-or-flight creature. Now we have our prefrontal cortex that lets us analyze whether we should fight or flight, and it helps us find nuance between those two choices. But that takes a little bit of effort. And lazy people don't want to take effort. They just want to be told whether they're...
Exactly.
I begin the book with a short list written by the writer Umberto Eco, where he lists what he thinks are the 14 points of eternal fascism or fascism, that cult of masculinity, that war against modernism, that war against truth, that obsession with apocalyptic violence as a purging agent or cleansing agent, to make the world pure and usher in the utopia. And I think when you look closely at the ideology of the radical Christian right, those so-called Christians in the United States who want to create a Christian state, in generic terms, they're fascist. Certainly fascism conjures up historical images, as you saw, pictures of Mussolini or Hitler, but it is an ideological belief system, and that's certainly the argument of the book, that this has been a dangerous mutation. These are not traditional evangelicals. They're not traditional fundamentalists who have always called on followers to remove themselves from the contaminants of secular society, to shun political power. Evangelical leaders like Billy Graham always talked about not getting too close to power, and he himself was used and burned by Richard Nixon. This is a dangerous and radical mutation. This is a dangerous and radical mutation. It is about creating, using the iconography and language of Christianity to create an authoritarian, or I think arguably a fascist state.